Hi, I'm Jesse.
I'm Miguel.
And this is our honest owner's review of the Honda CB500X. We bought these bikes about a year ago after a trip to Gran Canaria, where we really fell in love with these bikes, and it was really perfect for the roads over there. So when we got back to Sweden, we bought two of these, one each. And since then we've been driving them pretty much all over the place. We took them through Europe and down through the Alps last year as well.
And Norway.
And Norway. So we have a pretty good idea about the strengths and weaknesses of this bike.
I think we did about 11,000 kilometers on that trip.
Yeah, about 11,000 kilometers over 3 weeks.
And all kinds of roads. Twisty Alp roads, but also on the Autobahn in Germany, and in Norway the twist is there and the high hills.
Yeah. So let's talk about the things we like about this bike, the good things.
First of all, the engine. The engine is so smooth, no vibration. It has almost 50 horsepower, and that's pretty enough for the most roads. And the power delivery is very smooth. The seat height suits me very well. We are not too tall. We are not.
Well, no, we're not that tall. We have short legs.
Short legs. So this is a good seat height for people with short legs. And also the riding position is upright.
Upright riding position.
Almost like an adventure bike, actually. And the bars are quite wide. And then, of course, there is another thing that's really good with this. It's the fuel economy. This tank holds about 17 liters, and if you use every drop of it, it will get you 500 kilometers. That's on average about 3 liters per 100 kilometers. That's very good. It's almost like a 250 actually.
Oh.
More that I like about the bike. Well, one thing is that this is a small bike, so it's very, very nimble. In the twisties, in town, zipping through traffic, this is a blast.
But the downside is, with a short wheelbase, and because the bike is very light, it is not very stable on highways, and it's very susceptible to side wind. So you're not going to get that comfort that you get on bigger bikes, but then again, it's a small bike, so that's to be expected. The other thing that I wasn't too enamored with was the rear suspension. That's a little bit on the weaker side. For the intended purposes of this bike, driving around in the city, doing weekend excursions and so on, it's not much of a problem. But if you take it to some sort of really bumpy roads and gravel roads and so on, you will notice that Honda maybe cheaped out a little bit on the rear suspension. Also, if you're driving with a lot of luggage or a passenger, or if you're somewhat spherically inclined as I am, you may notice the rear suspension lacking a bit when you're cornering at slightly higher speeds. But that's pretty much the only thing I could say against this bike. For me personally, I think it's a little too small. It's a little bit too weak. But then again, I'm not exactly a small guy. If this had been a 650 with a slightly longer wheelbase and maybe better suspension, then this may have been just the best all-round bike there is.
There's one thing I forgot to mention that's really good. The service intervals of this engine is very long. It's 12,000 kilometers. But being a small engine, and if you drive fast and use a lot of motorways, you will driving on very high revs. I would recommend oil change in between the service.
Yeah. So one thing you may notice is that it is a rather small bike. It's only 500 cc with 48 horsepower. And because of the short wheelbase, this is not something that's very comfortable for doing a lot of highway driving. Small roads, it's not a problem, but on the bigger roads, you may notice the shortcomings a bit more. I kept, for instance, trying to find a 7th gear and squeeze a little bit more power out of it, but obviously there's no 7th gear, so I could notice it. But all in all, we have driven these through Europe, through the Alps, and proven that it's possible, and it was actually quite fun. As for the suspension and the wheels, there is a company called Rally Raid that offers an upgrade where you get replacement suspension, proper off-road ones, as well as larger spoked wheels, turning this into a proper adventure bike. However, that's about 3,000 euros plus labor unless you can do it yourself. And if you add those 3,000 euros on top of the price of the bike, you can actually afford a proper adventure bike off the bat. But if you do, you won't be getting a 500cc twin engine that comes in at, how much is this, 160 kilos or something like that?
Yeah, 68, no, 180 I think.
180 kilos, but it's very light, it's very small, it's very nimble, and it's a 500cc twin with an astonishing fuel economy. So if you're looking for a 500cc twin adventure bike, you may want to look into that.
Yeah, if you would trade up for a proper adventure bike, I mean an off-road bike, or then you would have a seat height that's about this.
Yeah.
You would add another maybe 40-50 kilograms, and
you may not have the same fuel economy either.
No, of course not. This is outstanding. And the wind protection, this is the low screen. I think, in my opinion, this is the best one. I tried the taller ones, touring, and they make a lot of buffering around the head. So it's almost better to have it distributed all over the body than just concentrate on your helmet. So after trying different ones, I kept the original one.
I think this is a great bike for beginners. It's a great learner bike, and I think it's great for people who are moving from scooters and wanting an entry-level motorcycle. Younger people, older people, doesn't really matter. If you're driving in the city, or if you're making short weekend excursions or something like that, then I think that's where this bike really, really shines. If you're looking to do some proper and extreme off-roading, or if you're looking to drive really fast or a sports bike kind of thing, then this is not going to be the bike for you. That concludes our owner's review of the Honda CB500X. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and see you soon.